Guys, hopefully you're all doing really good. Today we are going to be talking about how the hips influence the release and really help you whip the golf club through. Now, the reason why this is really important is because it's the biggest difference between amateurs and golfers, and that very much lies in distance. We all need more distance. Whether you know it or not, you really do need more distance. The further you can hit the golf ball, then basically it's going to make the game so much easier. Now, that doesn't mean you need to go on some sort of speed training course or try and, bulk up or anything like that. We're just learning how to move a little bit better from a biomechanical perspective, so it just helps us get the club moving better through the ball. So, the way that we're going to be doing this is we're going to be putting a lot of emphasis into the orientation of the pelvis. But first of all, we have to understand the sequence of what's been happening. So we get ourselves set up. We would have swung up to the top of our backswing, and we would have progressively started to move towards that lead side. Now this is kind of, if you like, what's known as a recentering motion, which essentially just means you'd have moved over to your trail side and now you're progressively moving back towards your lead side. But the question is, what are you doing when you kind of get into this sort of stage in the swing? Now, the biggest trait for most amateur golfers is that as they start this, the pelvis starts to point too horizontally. So if you look at my belt line, it starts to point more up towards the conifers there. Now, what this will do is this will tilt the spine backwards and this will cause you to release the club. We're not after that. We're trying to cover the ball, which is why it's important to get the feeling of the belt buckle moving down towards my lead ankle. This will help me get my sternum over the golf ball, hold onto lag, and really whip that golf club through. So the golf swing is a real balance, and what you really want to be doing is you want to be getting that feeling of moving towards the lead side, but then as soon as you start to feel that movement, you have to avoid this, because that's your sort of telltale standing up early extender. We don't want to be doing that. You want to be doing this, and the way you're going to do that is by understanding exactly where your belt buckle should be pointing. So a really strong feeling is to get the sense that that belt buckle is pointing down towards your lead ankle, so it helps you pressure load that lead leg, and it will help you whip the club through. So it will stop this type of motion and it'll encourage this type of motion. And what I mean by covering the ball is it will just give you that sense that your sternum is more on top of the golf ball moving like this. So it's a really important thing that you want to be feeling, and I would personally suggest for most golfers it will make a huge difference, because when you look at impact position, I do this all the time with online students, and I'll say, look, your impact position is undesirable, is what they'll be after. That's because they look like this. And what I'm saying is, well, if I move that pelvis a little more down and left, then you look like this. So not this way, this way. So you can get yourself set up, shift that pelvis down and left, and what you'll sort of notice is when you do this, see the way that it actually moves my pelvis slightly back towards my trail side. And that's the trick. So doing this type of motion, weight still on the lead side, gives me that sort of shaft lean, that ability to really strike and kind of get that feeling of compressing the ball. And that's a really good little drill that I'll do all the time with students, just to give them that feeling of, look, if your pelvis is up and that way, you try and strike it from there, it's always going to feel flippy and scoopy. You go more down into that lead side, it's going to get your sternum over the ball. You're going to get that stronger sense of striking down on the back of it. So that's what I want you to be doing. Then, when you start to integrate it back into your full swing, you want to be going up, lead side, down. Up, lead side, down. And if you're slightly lost, then you know what's coming. And if you're new to the channel, you'll get very familiar with seeing this object. But I absolutely love it. Get yourself the chair. Everyone's got one, or I should hope so. And all you do is you just place that over your lead ankle like so. Okay, and you're basically just going to be going, once I get towards, place that over my lead ankle like so. See the way that my lead hip moves over towards that chair. Once I get towards that chair, then my pelvis goes down. So what you don't want to do is you don't want to swing back and then go this way, because that'll be too spinny. But also you don't want to get here and then go upward, because that's going to be the move that we are trying to get rid of. So hope that video helps. I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will help you in a big way. Let me know in the comments box below, and I'll catch up with you guys again really soon.